Today we're going to discuss the pivot in your backswing. This is really going to help you make a bigger, more powerful backswing. Make sure you check out this video. So today we're going to be discussing the backswing and importantly the pivot move in your backswing. This is really going to help you make a bigger turn, generate some more speed. So a fault that I see with many golfers in their backswing is them staying down, crouching almost, where they're trying to make a backswing and almost resisting with this trail hip so much that it's really limiting their turn. What we want to see and what I was trying to feel there with that exercise where I put the club across my chest, and I'll discuss that in a second, is that trail hip to be moving up and behind me in this fashion. So that trail hip's moving up and high, and that's really helping me increase my shoulder turn. Now don't mistake it for me lifting up or gaining height. As my trail side moves up and behind me, what is my lead side doing? Moving more down and in front of me. And that's that pivot move that we're really trying to make. So the exercise I was simply doing is just put the club onto your sternum and have it straight out in front of you. Then I want you to tilt forwards from your hips, and you'll notice that means that it will start to point a little bit more down towards the ground. It's not going to point at the golf ball, I'd be tilting a lot there, but it's going to be down towards the ground. I was trying to make a backswing where the club is actually going to be rising, so it's going to be pointing behind me, directly behind me, almost in line with my toe line, and about towards the center of my chest. So I'm almost getting it to parallel to the ground because I'm getting this trail hip moving up and behind me. And you can see there, it's allowing me to make that big shoulder turn. I'm still feeling the pressure on the inside of that trail thigh, and I've maintained my spine angle. So I haven't lost that angle, I've just allowed this to happen, that trail hip to really load better in my backswing, moving up and behind me, lead side down and in front of me. So that's the feeling I was really trying to get. Now, I'll leave it up to you in terms of a swing thought to take to the course, whether you are someone who's going to focus on the trail hip up and behind you like I was there. You could focus on the trail shoulder moving up and behind you, or you could focus on the lead side moving more down and in front of you. And I've done videos before, and I will put some links just here that I think are relevant, more discussing this lead shoulder and its role in the backswing, because potentially, although that's going to have the same effect, that might work better for you, the golfer. You've almost got to do the drills and then take how it feels to you to the golf course, whether it's that lead side moving down in front of you or that trail side moving up and behind you. That's that sensation I'm looking to get. Let me just hit a couple. And I love when you're putting it into an exercise to start with actually some freezer exercises. So if you're not new to my channel, you've seen me done this before. I want you to actually stop at the top just to get that sensation. Have I really got that side pull here? Have I really got that stretch where my trail hip has gone up and behind me? Feel that pull and then hit. And when you're doing it, that wasn't bad, but don't worry about the strike being perfect. And if you want to start off a small tee, do. Don't put the emphasis on the strike having to be perfect when you're doing the exercise first. You're going to get better and better at it the more you do it. And this is relevant with any golf club, so I'll show it with a driver in just a second. But get that feeling, that pull here. I would almost relate to this kind of movement, almost like starting an electric motor where we're getting that trail hand pulling up, that lead hand moving more down. So this kind of fashion, we're really trying to get that stretch as much as we can in our backswing. So let's feel it again. And that was right out the middle. That felt great. Again, had that little pause at the top. I'm not suggesting we have to have that pause in the actual swing, but it's a great way to train. When you're working on something in the backswing there, I want you to get to the top and just be aware, did I create that same feeling I did in practice? If it's a yes, hit it. If you go, no, I don't feel it, start again, don't bother hitting it. Go back to it, do that drill. With any technical exercise, make sure there's a blend of some natural swings in there as well. So some technical, some natural. So with a driver, very much the same movement. You know, the reason I'm going to discuss this is really when we're looking at generating power, making a bigger turn, I guess one of the clubs we really want to be able to do that with is the big stick. But it's the same movement. I'm still looking to load that trail side. I still want that trail hip moving up and behind me. It's just the setup that's changed. My spine angle is going to be a little bit more upright with the driver because I'm stood further away from the ball and it's a longer shaft length. So my spine angle's changed from 55 to 60, but the movement I'm looking for is still very much the same. That trail hip moving up and behind me, that load here, and making that big shoulder turn when it happens. So you can see here, I'm actually getting beyond the 90 degrees. I'm getting this grip end pointing. I mean, if it's a right angles to my target line, that would be the 90 degrees, which is fine. But I can actually get beyond that, and I'm now up to closer to 100 degrees. So bigger shoulder turn from allowing that hip to turn. What we don't want to see is this type of movement where I'm restricting, and you can see I clearly can't make a bigger movement there. If I do that, you'll see with that same exercise, I don't get this parallel to the floor level. So I've got to try and get that lead, it's that trail hip moving up and behind me, that lead hip moving down and in front of me to try and get this golf club to move up in the air. So let's feel that as an exercise with that little pause drill. And then go ahead and hit one. We'll get that sensation, loading that hip. So I want you to give it a go in terms of the drills and the exercises first of all, then take it to the driving range or some airflow balls at home. I'll leave it to you whether you're, as I said, sensing the hip or the shoulder on the trail side or the lead side, but let's make this better pivot. Let's increase our turn rather than staying down in the shot. You'll notice when this is happening, my trail knee is starting to straighten. It's a question I get a lot. Should I keep it flexed? Should it straighten? As the hip rotates, the more it's rotating behind you, more that leg has got to straighten. I'm not saying it has to lock, but it is going to be losing some flex as this hip moves more up and behind you. If you are very mobile, very flexible, you may find you don't need to lose as much flex in this knee when this hip movement happens. But it will depend on the golfer, right? So give it a go in the exercises, first of all, with a club across your shoulders, and then you'll know how much that trail leg has to lose in terms of the flex. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more content just like this. Right now, YouTube are suggesting the next video of mine that's relevant to you. It's just here. Click on it and check it out.